Okay, so what I want to do is introduce you to the system and what it looks like. Okay, so when you log into CSU Buy, I would like to go out and come back. No. Okay, so let's give a description. So if you can follow me on this form, so I just want to give you what the icons are. Okay, so this is your shopping cart. So it should always be at 0 if you haven't shopped. The heart should be your bookmark where you can kind of customize your page, and it will show your documents. The flag will show you if you have action items that are needed, and that will show you would check there if something was returned to you. If something was returned to you, that's where you want to go pick it up, because it lets you retain your requisition number and all the comments that's in there. Okay. It also shows in the flag when it's time for you to change your password. The next one is the bell. The bell is the bell and whistles. It's going to let you know when everything have gone through and you have successfully completed and have a PO issued. And the profile is just, it's everything that you've ever done. So you will hold history in CSU Buy anytime you become part of the system. Okay. In there also, it will tell you when it's time to change your password. I would like to explain to you that at the beginning, I said that 80% are the vendors that you bring in. Those vendors are called non-catalog vendors. So those are the vendors that sync from Banner to CSU Buy. When you click on this non-catalog item, it will walk you through whatever you need to shop for. When your vendor sends you their quote, this is where you would go to find that vendor. So if you sent me a vendor, I'm just going to use, and everything will start populating after 4 to 5 characters. Okay. You will make sure that you give a description of what you're trying to purchase. It can't be just a one word. You need to give a defined description. Okay. So everybody may not have a catalog because services may not require a catalog number. In that area, you would put NA, so not applicable. The system has been updated so much that we do not use this section right here at all because we've had so many updates. They could take it off, but they won't. So you can come all the way over to quantity and put in the quantity amounts that you may need. You put the estimated price and how it's packaged. When you come down to this area right here, you can use your magnifying glass to get the commodity code, or you can use a cheat sheet and get your commodity code. I will show you where the cheat sheets are as well. This is the only line that you would need when you get down to the commodity code, manufacturer name, and the manufacturer number. You only need to address the commodity code. Now, right here is when you have multiple, if you have multiple lines or if you have a single line. So a single line, if you're finished right there, you would just save and close. Multiple lines, you need to add another line. You would click here and get you another line. Okay, so I just want to make sure that you know you can use multiple lines and everything. Now, let me tell you something sensitive about this system. You can only use one vendor at a time. It's just like when you shopping on the internet. You go straight to Amazon, you go straight to Walmart, you go straight to this and that person. Stores. So what I need you to know is if I'm shopping with CDW, I can only shop with CDW on that requisition. Another thing about this, You can't shop on here and try to do multiple lines because I want to get all my shopping out. So you can't do commodities that's under, you know, the $1,000 and you use that $1,300, that 1,300 series and then try to add some contractual services on there too. You cannot use multiple account codes. You can only use one account code. So you can only, if your service is just about office items and they are under, you know, they are commodities. If that's the type of procurement that you're putting in, then that's the only thing that you can put in on that requisition. If you needed to order a computer for your office, then you need to select, go and get you another requisition. You need to start another cart. So I just wanted to make sure that that was clear, that you can only shop with one vendor at a time. We have a message board. The message board is located on the left side of the screen. This message board is whatever's coming up at the university that purchaser needs to convey, or if we have any other, you know, emergencies or opportunities or whatever, we can share with you all on the message board. Okay. The message board also tells you when it's time for you to change your password. So you have maybe 5 ways to see when it's time for you to change your password. Okay. This section right here are really just catalogs. So you're really looking through, you know, just the catalogs. They're not real-time pricing. That's just so you can look through these vendors' catalogs. When you go to this second set of services, the showcase services, we are right now using direct pay expense. We use this for travel. We use it for reimbursements. This is what we use right now. So this is AP's module. So when you may go through a training with them on how to use this module, this direct pay expense, okay? So this bottom part right here, this is our punch out vendors. So we can shop with them infinity. That means the state have approved them. They went out for a solicitation. That solicitation came back and these are the vendors that won. So you go directly to their sites. When you click on, you go directly to their site. You shop and then you submit your order. It brings you back around and puts you back into CSU Buy, but you have captured your commodity codes. You have captured everything but how to pay for it. So you can go in their site. I'm just going to click. So you can do a search for the items that you're looking for. The account welcomes you in. You can submit your cart. It tells you what's in your cart. The software is very good. You have people that are in your department that use the system as well. Let them show you how intuitive this system is. So if you, because we're, you know, it's COVID, and it's not a lot, you know, we're not having the interaction at the office, and you can run over to purchasing just if you need to know this or whatever. I mean, you can always email us or you can always call us. But sometimes the person that's in the office with you may know what to do. Okay. So, yes.
Janet, this is Tony McCoy Smith. You were speaking about direct pay, and you said that is AP's module?
Yes.
But you did say it was for travel and what else?
Well, you know, it's really reimbursement. You know, like if somebody, okay, somebody go out and do something, they come back. That's what it's really for. And it's like the commodities under $500. So if somebody spent some money and they needed to be reimbursed for what they spent, you know, they can do that. I think under $4.99. So that's what that's for. Yeah.
Okay, but it's for travel reimbursement. Okay.
Yes.
I got you. Thank you. Yes. I'm sorry. I never. That looks like it's a new feature that they put on it.
Well, it's a new feature, but it's been there at least for a few years now. But now
Oh, really?
they really use that system now.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Janet.
No
Thank you.
problem. No problem. Any other questions about this part? Okay. So I wanted to come, you will have these where it says orders on the side over here. And I want to take you to document search. Okay, document search is where I said that you can go and complete a tally on the vendor that you are trying to shop with, if that vendor is already in the system. Now, keep in mind, you do not have to do a tally on a punch out because we can shop with them infinity, okay? So make sure you know, you don't have to do it for Office Depot. You know, you don't have to do it for Apple. You don't have to do it for CDW. So I'll get in that part. The ones that you have to do it for are non-catalog. Those are the vendors that we bring aboard. So if I click here, it'll take me to a simple search where I just get this one line right here. Okay. I like to do advanced search so I can get everything that's needed that I need to, you know, look for. So if I was, gonna use me. Okay. We're gonna say that I prepared a requisition. I want it for the previous fiscal year. So remember, you can customize the dates or anything. I want to say greater than, and I'll say $10. And I wanted to search and see if I did anything. It said yes. Okay, so I'm telling you that so you can know how to streamline your searches. You can perform a search. It gives you the spreadsheet, the Excel spreadsheets. It gives you all the tally. It's very intuitive. So, but let's say you had money in this cart right here, and now we need to look and see. I need to do a new cart, but I don't want to empty my cart that I have. Okay, so we would go to shop. You see where it says my orders? Now let's go to view cart. In view cart, most people may have carts or whatever here. So if I had a draft cart, it would be here. If I was assigning a cart, it would be here. But if I just wanted to create a new cart and not dump the cart that I had, then I could always click on create cart. So it'll take my numbers back to 0, and it will allow me to complete another purchase that I needed to do as well. Maybe I don't have all the information for the other one. I do have the information for this one. So let's make sure that we know that we can always switch to cart. We can always continue our purchases. We can always save carts. We can do all of that here because it'll remain in your cart until you submit it. Any questions? Okay, Naromi? Let's see. Do you see anything that I'm missing for CSU Buy? Anything that you think that they would be missing that, you know, I don't want to skip over anything. I want to make sure that they have everything that's needed.
I think you pretty much covered it all because you did the card and you told them how to, okay. So did you tell them how to keep checking the comments and things like that for a notification?
So what I'll do is, because I am going to bring up just requisitions.
Okay.
Thank you, Naromi.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go here. Nope. I'll get one that's already out here. I'll take this one. Okay, we'll use one from Richard. Okay. So I just want to let you know. So when you must check your comments every day. So the reason that you need to check your comments, just in case purchasing is requiring more documents, or just in case legal may be requiring more documents. Anybody that's in your workflow may be requesting you to answer some questions about the whatever you're ordering or anything. So you want to make sure, and you want to use email comment etiquette. So keep in mind that all comments stay forever as long as we have this system. We can't erase it. We can't delete it. We can't do any of that. So you have to make sure that you are using etiquette when you comment in the system. Okay. From the time you start your requisition, let's go to... So when Richard started this requisition, he started this requisition at 2:02 p.m. on the 2nd. This gives every step that he made through this requisition, all the way until he submitted it. So he added all his documents. You remember when I spoke about budget? This is when budget comes in. If your money is not on the right line, it will be rejected. Okay, so keep that in mind. If your money is not where it needs to be, if it's not enough money for the purchase that you're trying to do, it will reject. Next one, your org approver. Your org approver, that's the person that is permitting you to place these orders. You may be that person. You may be the org approver. You are the person that's responsible for that account being used. Now, let's say IT may be anything dealing with the computers. IT will always be in your workflow. Then it comes to purchasing. When it comes to purchasing, we review to make sure that you have everything that you need. So let's say if we said when I looked at it, I said you needed a financial disclosure, you needed this and that. So now you're compiling whatever you needed. You read your comment. Now you're coming back and you're uploading the document that's needed, right? So I'm going to show you where they do that. But the next time around, the next person that's going to review it is the second purchaser reviewer to make sure that you've added the document that was requested. Whenever we're asking you after the requisition leaves your view, whenever we're asking after that for you to add a document, this is where you would go. So you would click on the comments and you would go to where it says add comment, and you have this browser down here. So you can choose file, and then it's going to take you to your file so you can upload that document. You will also, in this section right here, you want to make sure you indicate what you're uploading. It may be the financial disclosure. It may be an updated quote, but you want to make sure that that's in here as well. Okay, so then you want to choose who you want to get this email notification. Let's say the person name isn't up here. Now you need to click on to add a recipient. If that person is part of CSU Buy, you fill in their name will populate. So, okay. And then you select them so they can be the one that you send that notification to. So just keep in mind, if you are the owner of the requisition, you have to make sure that you're checking your comments, making sure you have all uploaded required documents that you may need to satisfy this requisition. but always make sure that you are checking. Now, you are responsible for this requisition from the cradle to the grave. So from the time you put it in until it goes all the way to a valid PO. And I want to show you what a valid PO would look like. Okay. This is a valid PO. So it would always start with P00 and then give you the next 5 characters. So that is a valid PO. So I also want to let you know this. When you have your vendor complete the vendor form, they must make sure that the system can send it to them. So if you see something like this, we need to make sure that we can fax it to your vendor or we can email it to your vendor. So you have to make sure that the information that you collect from from your vendor will allow your vendor to receive their purchase order. Do you have any questions about the system? It's only one.
Did you tell them how to check the workflow?
And that'll be forms. I'm sorry?
I was asking Janet, did she tell you how to check the workflow to know whose queue is in, so you don't always have to call purchasing? You know who to call if you need to push it along.
So to check your workflow, you always have this option. So you have requisition, and now we have PR approvals. So you would click there, it will tell you wherever your requisition is until it's completed. So I would like to show you one that's haven't been completed. So we can, I want to show you a workflow that's not completed yet. So it passed banner budget. The fiscal officer have approved. And now it's in purchasing. When I click on view approver, it gives you Kent and my name. It gives you the email address and the telephone number. So that gives you a choice. If you need to call us and say, you know, maybe this been sitting in here for maybe 5 days and nobody have looked at it. And you just want to know, you know, is it a problem? You know, is it anything that I have not satisfied? Okay. So you are always able to look and see who your next approver is. You're always able to add a comment, always. So keep in mind, we just make sure we use etiquette. I also want to make sure that you all know this as well. When you put in a requisition, it's always going to have this billing portion right here. So I want to go through one right quick. This will not take long at all because I'll kill it once it's over. I'm going to go through just a purchase so you can see. Error has occurred, huh? Okay. So I am purchasing these pens. It tell me shopping cart or checkout. Okay. So I don't want to go back to, I want to check out. Okay. So this is how the screen looks. Okay. So now it's asking me, now I'm gonna look down here. So I want to see, yeah, those are the pens that I ordered. This is what I want. So now it's asking me if I want to assign it, because maybe someone else in my department orders off that same org. Then I can assign it to them so they can add their items as well. But right now, I'm just going to proceed to checkout because I have everything that I need. So now it's telling me I can place my order, shopping cart, but that's after I fulfill the requirements. Okay, so I want to open up the whole requisition. So I'm going to click summary. Summary changes the view of this. So it asks me, everything is okay in this general box. Now, I'll tell you this. If I ordered some services and my services are requiring multiple invoices to be paid, I would click edit. I would come down to where it says blanket PO. And I would say, yes, multiple invoices need to be paid. Okay. So then the next one is asking me about the shipping. So what they mean by this shipping part right here is what department do you want it to be delivered to? So I am in purchasing. So this is my address. And so this is fine. Now, if I come down here where it says delivery options and I click in here and I say, I want this expedited. And I put, today is the 4th. I say, I want this expedited by the 6th. But say it's some other requirements and you haven't fulfilled any of those and now it's on the 7th. It'll go in rejection because you said that this must be delivered by the 6th. So you would always leave this section alone. Okay. So, but this section right here where it says transaction date, this is always required. So you would have to update it and make sure it's today's date. Now, and I have to explain this. If that date is not on the purchase order, you will get this purchase order right back. You must have the date on the purchase order. We will not accept requisitions that do not have a transaction date. So now we come down to where your fiscal officer may have given you permission to shop on a fund, the org, and a program code. But purchasing wouldn't give you the fund, org, and program code that you're supposed to use. You need to get that from your fiscal officer. So once you obtain that information, now you go on here and you put it in. So the system will only take capital letters right here. So I'm going to say I shop on an LI. That's local incomes. That's the drop dead funds that die every year on June 30th. Then my organization. This is where my fiscal officer said, this is the org that I can shop on. Now the account. Well, this is when I decide on what expenditure I'm spending from. So I bought ink pens. So I'll say it's a $13.99. Okay, because it's ink, it's consumable, it's being used as soon as I open it. And the last part is, this is the program code is what your fiscal officer provides for you as well. So this is connected with all your monies from that department. So now -6. So it gives you 3 characters. It gives you a number, a capital letter, and then another number. Make sure you hit 0 and not O. So I'll save this. It accepted it. Now I'm going to go back. And now I'm going to put in 0. It's not going to go through because it said it's an invalid value. So we got to make sure, you have to make sure that you are paying attention to what you're putting in. Make sure you're not using a capital O, and making sure you're using a 0. So keep in mind, your program code is 3 characters, a number, a capital letter, and another number. Now, remember I said you spend from these expenditures. So those major lines is the 1,300, and I said series. So you would use 1,300, but you have to be descriptive on what you're using. So there are other numbers that fall under the 1,300, and we will provide a list for that as well. So let's say I just wanted to use 1,300. It's not valid because what it's telling me is that no, it's the 1,300 series. I need another number, I need another object to describe, to define what I'm trying to order. So now I'll say, let's call this a 1,308. Now it's telling me that it's educational materials, educational and instruction materials. So you have to make sure by the information that we provide that you are able to define what you are ordering. Okay. Let's come down some more. So when I get right here, now I need to use the quote that the vendor gave me that gave me the price for my item, right? So now I need to upload that. The vendor sent me that my item is $3.96. Okay. So this is where I go. Because for one, I want the vendor to know what they quoted me. For two, I got to make it transparent that this is what I ordered. Okay, so we would go on here to add the document, find it, save it, and that's it. Now, let's say when I spoke about the financial disclosures, the State Board of Election, the soybean ink statement, the furniture, all of that, that is supporting documentation that goes right in this area that's called internal notes and attachments. So this is what you share with the university to make it transparent to us. So these, when you upload those documents, only the university can see it. Even though we can all see both sides, the vendor only gets this section right here. So let's say you wanted to put on, you're going to put the quotes from the other vendors that you receive quotes from, everything. You're going to put it on the external. Your vendor does not need to know you shopped around. You only owe that due diligence to the university. So that information will be kept internally. The only thing that you put on the external side is what needs to go to that vendor that you are shopping with. So if they were to receive a signed contract, if they are to receive just a signed quote, a signed proposal, all of that goes on. Whatever's aimed for the vendor needs to go on the vendor side. Now it tells you clear. It says note to all vendors. So this is the vendor side, attachments for all vendors. This is the only side that you put the vendor's information, in vendor's documents on. Okay. But the supporting documentation, the comparison documentation, all of that is internal. So what stays in our house to show what we did to arrive at this procurement that we have. Okay. Any questions about that? Okay.
Do you?
Yes.
Well, listen to Romy. Do you want to show them if they wanted to split the payment and where to put shipping information?
So what I can do right here is show. So you can split accounts. So we'll use athletics for an example. So let's say they had two like orgs. Okay. So we would go here. And so it says add split. So now you can determine if you want to do a 50-50 split Or you may just want to do just a 20-80 split or something like that. But they have to be like orgs. I mean, like fund and orgs. So you can never change what account code you're using. You can never do that. The only thing, this must remain the same. Now you can split the other, but you can't split a LI with a grant. You can't do that, but you can split it with a non-appropriate account, or you can split with like accounts. So they may have like a LI 0218 and a LI 0318. You see what I'm saying? You can split that. Okay. Now, let's see if I can get to this other part. See here. Okay, so you can click on these taxes and the S and H. Now remember, we are tax exempt. Only thing that we're adding right here is your shipping and handling. Okay, so make sure that you know that you can click on the shipping and handling so you can make sure that you can add the shipping. When you request a quote from a vendor, please make sure that it includes the shipping and handling. Now, if you look at a quote and the quote includes taxes, you need to request from the vendor to let them know the university does not pay taxes. We are tax exempt. If you need to get a tax exempt form, you can contact purchasing. We have it. You can reach out and we can make sure that you get it. So if we don't know what a form is, we can direct you. Okay. So I am going back to my summary. Again, I have fulfilled all the requirements. It's saying all done. Now I can place order. Okay. When I place order, I can go right here where it says requisition. So it's telling me, first of all, let's go into PR approvals. First, I did have $3 and something in the budget. It did accept budget. Next is the org approver. That will be Kent. Kent would approve for me. The next one, it tells me Kent or I can approve. Then it'll go to the next one. And the same thing. So this appears in your requisitions that you submit, and it will house your fiscal officer. Now, keep in mind, I gave you those dollar amounts at the beginning, and I told you about if you have a spend that's $10,000 and it's contractual. Once you get a spend that's $10,000 and it's contractual, in this workflow, you will see legal. Once you get to the legal, that workflow with legal, then you're going to start seeing the VP. So you will see the VP of finance or the comptroller when it gets to 10,000. Now you may have contracts that are not 10,000. You may have items that have terms and conditions, or when you have that, purchasing will forward your submission to legal. So it's not like it won't be reviewed by legal. Legal is our protection. So we must go to legal for terms, conditions, anything that will protect us. So, but I just wanted to show you that in that workflow, other partners will appear. Any other questions? So let's go to the history.
Janet,
Yes.
This is Cecilia. Do you still get an email alert when there are some comments added to your requisition?
You absolutely do. You remember when I went to, I'll go to comments now. So you see on the comments, because I am the requester, my name will automatically appear right here. So when a comment is, when I place a comment, I check in the box, and we send you the comment. So you're automatically getting a comment,
Okay.
send you a notification. Now, this is the thing. So let's say when you submitted your paperwork and you didn't give me, let's say you didn't provide the right banner username. Because remember, this is an application. So let's say you put in there, instead of my name being Janet Ali, and as it appears, J Ali, say I put, let's say I put J.A. Ali. So now I got 2 A's in there. I will never get that because the system is saying that person don't exist. How am I emailing them when I didn't receive the right information? So you may be in there putting in orders and wondering why you can't see your orders, this and that and this. That's because we have to have the right information in order for you to receive notifications and in order for you to navigate through the system. That's why it's so important that you fill out that CSU access form. You have to make sure that it's right because you should be able to use this system all over the world. The only way you can't if you didn't provide the correct information.
Got it.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Naomi, you see anything else before I go to forms?
I think that's it.
Okay. Thank you very much for your assistance.
Janet, Sevilla
Yes.
again.
Yes.
Are you going to cover back end? What happens after the service has been provided or the purchase has been made, how we get them paid? Is that part of this?
Well, remember, you said that operative word that you use, paid. That's AP. So I don't want to give you rules wrapped around AP, and I may not know what I'm speaking about. You know what I mean? Because their rules change too, and I can't speak to them.
Okay, I'll reach out to that.
So I apologize, but if you ask me any of the, I can point you, I can give you their emails, I can give you their extension numbers, I can make sure that I even copy them on whatever information you give me. But keep in mind this, you have comments at every point of this, and Marcy, Tracy, everybody is in this system. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
If you can't convey it through here, go through your regular email. But that's how you want to make sure. Okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, so the next one that I wanted to do is I just want to show you the forms and where you can find the forms so you won't look all over. So you don't want to save the forms to your desktop because forms change all the time and you want to make sure you always have the most updated information. I would love for you to visit the purchasing website. So it'll reiterate any rules that I have previously given you. So, but this part right here, I want to take you to forms. Okay. The forms that I spoke about. So, because we were in a emergency due to, COVID, so they were, stopping spending unless you really needed it for your department. So you had to go on and get this form and it's authorization to expend form. So that's needed when we're in an emergency crutch. Okay. The next one is that vendor form that I spoke to you about. This vendor form, can you see it? Hello?
Yes, I can.
So the vendor form, I just want to make sure that you understand that this top part of this vendor form is the responsibility of the using department to make sure that they fill this part out. Okay, you're filling that out so purchasing will know who to notify when the vendor has been added to the system. You want to make sure if you have an employee and they are trying to be a vendor, they can't just be a vendor like that. You must go through HR. You can't have 2 contracts going on at the university. If that's clear to you, because it's double dipping. Okay. So I do want to explain this. So if you see this and you know that you are an employee or you are a student, you need to stop. And now you need to go to HR and you need to ask them, what can you do? You can even fill out the form and give it to HR and tell them that this is what I'm trying to do. And they would have to sign off. Purchasing cannot make the decision to put you in the system. Now, for outside vendors, you want to make sure that their names are clear. Make sure that we have a FIN number. You want to make sure that they have classified the business. You also want to make sure this section is clear. So it may be a different number for the purchase order. It may be a different number for the payment arrangements. They may have emails that they send to their accounts payable. You must provide that information. If that vital information is missing, we can't put your vendor in the system. And now that's another day that you've lost getting your vendor in the system. We want to make sure that we fill out this business part right here. We want to make sure that we provide the goods and services. So check what they're doing. I need a description. It is required that you put in a description. If they are certified, if they have any certificates, for the diverse business, you want to make sure that everything is checked. But they can't just check it. They have to provide the number, send the attachment. They have to check off who did it, or provide you with the certificate. If they provide you with the certificate along with the vendor form, that's acceptable. They must complete the conflicts of interest. All this certifying information, they must do. And all this information must be filled in, and it must be signed at the bottom. So a problem that we're having is when the department sends it back to purchasing. Let's start on this page right here where it says step 6 for standard certifications. What happens is the department will take all of this off and only send me this part where it houses the vendor signature. If this is FOIA, I can't say that the vendor understood the rules and the laws of doing business with the state. So I need the whole document back. I need the entire document back. So please make sure you are obtaining all information. You get the first eyes to see if everything was filled in on that vendor form. The next one is your financial disclosure. Remember I said if they have an annual spend of $50,000, this form is needed. The unauthorized purchase form, I never brought it up because I hope you would not be that person that will shop out of compliance. But that form is used when you shop out of compliance, meaning you receive goods and services and you did not have a valid PO. You did an injustice for the university and you also hurt the vendor because now the vendor got to go through everything trying to get paid because you made promises and didn't do your part to put it in the system. So this form will be required and the department will be reported. So I just wanted to make sure that you know that form exists. Okay. So the next one would be the CSU bid form. That's the form that I said that the department must fulfill to show us how they conducted the bidding. Okay, then the next one is that form that I spoke to you about, the CSU Buy Access form. So this is the form that sometimes is not filled out properly. So right here, in this area right here where it says banner username, you must have the correct name. If you do not have the correct name, the system will not recognize you. So please don't, because it's kind of favors your email address. So you just put the email address in there. You'll never get any of the information. So I tell you, please, please, please take your time with this form. The next one was that furniture form that I spoke about. And it's just to let you know, it takes you through everything that you have to do. And this can happen for you in less than an hour. And the soybean ink form. So this is the form that you must send to any vendor that you are having printing services completed. If the services that they provide to you are in this caption right here, they can say no, and they can refer to these services that's in here and sign off for the prevailing wage, and it will be accepted. But if they just say no, we don't perform it, it will not be accepted. Okay, so do we have any questions about the forms or anything? Okay. Kent, if he's still on here, do you need to say anything? Is it anything?
I think you've done a great job.
Is it anything you need to stress to the community?
At this point, I'm learning along with them.
Okay.
I think what you provided today was very comprehensive. You covered an immense amount of territory, so it's totally understood that if anybody has questions following today's session, please contact Janet and I and let us know what we can do to help you.
Okay. Okay. So if anybody part of this training, I just want to let you know that I will provide a certification form for you. If you can email me immediately after or at your convenience, I will send you the information that we went over today, and I will send you the certification form. So please, I'm gonna, this training is over. If you have no questions, we can end the training, but please make sure you can email me, and please email me for your access form so I can make sure that you have the proper form and the proper certification form. Any questions? Okay, and thank you everybody for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Janet.
You're very welcome.